this stotra. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhubi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. Again and again is a reminder, those who are afflicted in this worldly life, not that they are not having the money, not that they are failure, afflicted because they have understood the folly, the temporariness of this world. That's why they are afflicted. Then only they come towards God for the total liberation, for the peace, absolute peace. So that is the main thing. That's why they say, your word, the words of God, that gives the peace. Why? That tells the truth. And what are those truths? That this world, whatever it may be to you, it is temporary, going to change. And anything that is changing cannot give you permanent happiness. It is impossible. From a temporary thing, how can you expect permanent happiness? So obviously, we have to understand this. And then what to do? We have to go to those people who have already crossed this, achieved that eternal peace, which is called God realization. If we go to someone else who has not realized, not experienced, it is of no use. He won't be able to tell. Maybe that he will be telling in a very wonderful language, something very attractive, but ultimately, at the end of the day, there will be misery. Because of that misery, we want to go beyond the misery. We have to go to those people who have realized. Now, here is one, the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who is giving us, through different conversation with different people, the wonderful teachings. We have already studied that. Sri Ramakrishna is telling in different places what are the steps, what are the things that one should do to realize God, to reach to that permanent happiness, the eternal peace. What are the things? 8 steps we find. What that? First is holy company. Second is living in solitude. Then performing one's own duty. Fourth, discrimination, understanding the words that heard from the holy person. Then practice. Fifth is the practice. Sixth comes the faith. And then 7 is the prayer. And 8, complete self-surrender. These are the 8 steps. It begins with the holy company. And we have again and again discussed who is the holy company. God is the only holy company. And those who are trying to realize God, trying to reach God, they also constantly trying to tell the same words, repeat those words that has been uttered by the messenger of God. So this here we find Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself, the God incarnate as human being, and he is telling karma phala. That is one of the main thing of the Hinduism. Whatever we do physically, mentally, intellectually, all those things are karma, the action. Anything, any action has reaction. Anything that any action has the result. That reaction is the result. And what is that result? Who is going to enjoy the result if it is good? Who is going to suffer for that? The person who has committed that. Naturally, the karma phala, as they call it in Sanskrit, this is very, very important. Why should we be moral? Because of this. If I am secretly doing something wrong, apparently no one could catch me, no one could understand what I have done, but ultimately it comes back to me, either good or bad effect. So that is called karma phala. Now the last discussion that we heard, the Sri Ramakrishna was discussing with a tantric, the person who is the follower of Shakti. Now he is telling that we have to, maybe that we are trying to realize God, maybe that we are concentrating, meditating, we are going to on pilgrimage and giving donation, everything good that we are doing, but karma phala, the action that we have already done, the result is going to come on us, isn't it? He said it is true, but for the devotees it is different, and that is the assurance. For the devotees it is different. Why? Because they are surrendering themselves to God, and as because they are surrendering, so naturally it is the responsibility of the God himself to protect them. And that is why he said, that may be so, but it is different with the devotees of God. Then he was expressing that thing through a song, and it says afterwards, anyone who dies in the Benares, that is the belief, faith, he says. Then we find that dialogue continues, and here he says, when a man merges himself in God, he can no longer retain wicked or sinful tendencies. So look at it, this wonderful thing, when a man merges with God, and that is very important. Unless and until we are merging with God, realizing God, we are praying and all those things are there. This is the beauty of the Hinduism. They always inspire people to go and merge with God, to become God. They never say that you can never realize God. They say you can, and not only that, you are part and parcel of the God, you have to become God. And that is the goal. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, the goal of every human life is nothing but God realization. And this is very important. Most of us, we are practicing religion, and we are doing so many things, and also one is religion. But we are not that way sincere. We are not that way one-pointed, that we must realize God. Very, very few. That's why in one song it says, the sadhaka is telling that there are millions of kites are there in the sky, only one or two that gets totally free and it goes away in the air floating. The mukti, complete that freedom from the bondage is very difficult. Why? Ego. And ego is so strong and ego is so subtle. We do not understand when the ego is really acting. And when it is acting, even the religious people, the holy people, and sometimes they will think that I am holier, I am very close to God, and I have every right to dictate and direct the people towards God. They go into that cocoon, they go into that thought that I can do it, but it is not possible. That's why this is very difficult, and Sri Ramakrishna is telling that when a man merges himself in God, he can no longer retain wicked or sinful tendencies. This is the test. How I will know that he is a very holy man? He may claim, he may put on different dresses, he may put on different signs, he may be in a very good big a religious organization. But what is the test? How I will understand? What is the yardstick to understand a holy man? He says, there will never remain wicked or sinful tendencies. That is the main test. Why? Because he has merged with God. He has realized God. What is the realization? Transformation into the God. This is one thing, one point every devotee, every student of spirituality should keep in mind. To whom I am going to accept as my teacher, as my guru. This should be the person. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is very clear. Then the Tantrika said, yes, you have said rightly, but that person keeps knowledge ego. This man who was going on talking with him, he knew something, so naturally he was conversing with him. Sri Ramakrishna, yes, he keeps only the knowledge ego. What is that knowledge? I am God. That God is everything. God has created this universe. God is the only one and nothing else remains. That is called knowledge. And that knowledge is constantly there. If you call it an ego, maybe it is an ego. So that knowledge ego, the jnana, obviously that ego, that knowledge is not like the ego that I am having connected with the body, connected with this emotion. Every time whatever I say, I is connected with this body and connected with my thoughts and emotions and naturally actions, everything. It is not that. It is the ego of God. I am the Son of God. When I am telling that, I am feeling proud, happy. That's also you can call it the ego. But that ego is not wrong. It's not binding. So he says, yes, devotee ego, servant ego, good ego. Sri Ramakrishna trying to explain it, giving that, yes, the knowledge ego and the devotee ego also. I am a devotee of so and so, such and such God or the thought. So that devotion, anyone can be a devotee. Devotee is totally dedicated to a thought, to a philosophy, to an ideology. That is a devotee. That devotion must be 100%. Going and taking from here and there won't do. I go here, I go there, I accept this, I accept also that, everything. No, it is not like that. The devoted means one-pointed. I only love God. Again and again I quote, Mere to giridhari lal, dusra koi. That is the great devotee. He is telling, yes, there are all other gods and goddesses are there. I know, I accept, I have every respect. But my God is only Krishna and nothing else, and nobody else. And that, what Krishna means, then we have to understand it is not the personality. That is a different Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam bhaja. Leaving everything aside, you come to me. Is it Krishna? That person? No. It is that ideology. So that is when you can totally accept that ideology, then only you will get the blessings of God. And if you take that personal thing that mostly we do, and there are the conflicts between the religions, that's the mistake. Someone is calling the same God, the same ideology, same ideal as Allah. Someone is God, someone Jehovah, someone Bhagavan, Ishwar, but the same ideology. That comes to us so that we can understand through some images, personalities, symbols. And if I only stick to that and say this is the only thing, there is a mistake. And that brings all conflict. That is the problem. So here Sri Ramakrishna is telling ego you can retain, but it is knowledge ego, devotee ego, good ego, servant ego, etc. Then the Tantric is thanking Sri Ramakrishna, is telling, today you have destroyed many of our doubts. This is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna. Whoever came went back with satisfaction, fulfilled. This Tantrika came, then many others also came. One gentleman came, he is a Christian. He came to Sri Ramakrishna, he said, I saw Jesus in you, and you are my Jesus. An other person came who was a devotee of Krishna. He said, you are my Krishna. The Tantrika, he is telling, you have removed my all doubts. Everyone is accepting him. Why? What is his ideology? His ideology is, each soul is potentially divine. That same God is there present in so many hearts. Same God. Again and again, in different way, not only he realized the God through different paths, at the same time, he has propagated it and giving so many examples. And that's why anyone came to him from any walks of life, from any philosophy, they found that the same thing in him. This is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna, the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. And he said, assume the tamasic aspect. And Sri Ramakrishna here he mentioned, all doubts disappear when one realizes the self. And he said, you have removed all our doubts, we are satisfied. And then he is telling, the answer is, no doubt will be there, no doubt will remain if you have realized the self. In another place, Sri Ramakrishna is giving the example, you have to go to the terrace, the top floor. And you can approach, approaches are different. You can go through the elevator, you can climb the stair, you can climb from the outside ladder, you can go in different, there are processes are there, ways are there, means are there, whichever you like, you can accept that. But after reaching on the top, the same floor, all these people, those who reached over there through different the paths, what they will see? Same thing. The one who is reaching over there through the elevator, the other one through the stairs, will they see different things? No. On the way, they will see different things. On the way, when they are proceeding, they will have different experiences. But after reaching on the top, they will find it is all same. This is the unique idea for the unification of different sects and religions. This idea only can bring peace. You need not to change your path, need not to change your religion, need not to change your faith, need not to change anything of that you like. But only one thing you should have, that sincerity to reach to the top, to reach to that ideal first. Secondly, the broadness to accept others also. These are the two things which can solve all the problems that is there in the present day world. With these two things, one, confidence and sincerity that I am going to reach to that top without hurting others, criticizing others, disturbing others, destroying others. I am going to reach over there. And when the others are approaching there through different paths, I appreciate them. Okay, please come, let us go. You proceed in your own way, I am also going there. And that is Sri Ramakrishna. And that is why he is telling, when you get that, all doubts disappear when one realizes the self. Why he said self? Because here he mentioned from the point of view of the Jnani. You know, in Hinduism there are 4 major paths, and the Jnanis, they say it is Brahman or the self. Then yogi also, they say, it is the self. And then the bhakta, the devotion, they say Bhagavan, the God, personal God, impersonal God, like that. And the karmi also goes to the same place in either through God or the self. So this way he said self, meaning God. The same echo we find in the famous Upanishad. It's called Mundaka Upanishad. In the Mundaka Upanishad, they find the wonderful that again and again most of the monks, they will be quoting this: Vidyante hridaya granthi, chidyante sarva samsayaha, shiyante chasya karmani, tashmin dishte paravare, para avara. Very clearly, that means realization, perfect realization, perfect understanding, perfect feeling of that same truth. Para avara, tasmin drishte, that, tasmin drishte, having, sighting that, seeing that, para avara, completely. That means merging. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said. Not just from the distance, as many of the people constantly they are reading different type of philosophies and then making the notes, and they can speak nicely on that. They can tell this is the main philosophy of this person, that person. They have the intellectual understanding maybe, but that won't help. It is the complete understanding, 100% realization. Then what happened? It says the three things happened. One is the knot of the heart gets untied. Knot of the heart, it is in a poetical way they are expressing. What is that knot? Desire. What is the knot of the heart? Desires. And because the desires are there, Ichcha, Trishna, Tanha, in different ways it has been said. The Buddhists they call it Tanha, and in the Christian they say temptation or desires, and in the Sanskrit also they say Trishna, Vasana. Trishna actually literally means the thirst. Thirst for what? To acquire things. Maybe is a property, maybe is a name, fame, and from the society always we want to get that. What happens? Two things. If we get, we are happy. If we don't get, we are unhappy. So obviously it is reacting on our mind, and the mind is bound by that. Again it is taking the same shape. Oh, that year, last year I couldn't get the success. This year again I will try. I must get it, I must get it, I must get it. That is the constantly is going on in the mind. Ultimately what? When I get it, I find that it is also temporary. I am going to lose it afterwards. So all my effort, all my energy, I spend for something which is temporary. So that particular moment I am feeling happy, then afterwards again I go back to the room of misery, again suffering, again frustration, and that is the main thing that's called knot. And it says Vidyate hridaya granthi. Hridaya means the mind. Hridaya, from there the desire comes. So if we realize God, what happens? Sri Ramakrishna says all doubts they vanishes. Not an avert of doubts. Is there really God is there? Is there having these, having that? So all this will go if there is some practices, spiritual practices, and then the realization. Most of the people, they will go on doubting things, asking, inquiring, trying to know. That is the different thing. When Narendranath came, he wanted to know from Sri Ramakrishna. Every time he was asking, is it this, is it that, how it is, like this he was going on asking. That is the inquisitiveness to know. nothing wrong in it. But when is a doubt is there, I don't believe. And naturally, I like to put you in trouble by asking different questions. These people do not get any benefit from their questions, and unnecessarily they are disturbing not only their own mind, the minds of others too. They are polluting the other's mind too. So this is the thing Sri Ramakrishna is giving the caution, and here we find Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Chidyante Sarva Samsayaha. What is the samsaya? Doubts. All doubts become solved. Chidyante Sarva Samsayaha. All doubts become totally solved. Shiyante Chasya Karmani. Then his work, karma, the result of the work, it becomes very, very thin because it goes away. All action becomes dissipated. It goes away. And he is doing all action. Not that he is simply sitting quietly and eating and sleeping. No. He is very, very active, constantly working. But at the same time, not at all affected by that work. Some people give clapping, appreciating, and giving him so much of presentation, felicitation is not part of. Some people may scorn, they may criticize, that is also not affecting. And that is called, there is no problem. When perfectly it happens after the realization, we find it is not only a theory, it is also we have seen in the lives of Swami Vivekananda, the young Swami who came all the way from India only to propagate the Indian philosophy, to make the whole world know about India, and he was being criticized by his own countrymen again and again. Not one day, again and again, every step, but no reaction. Why? Because he knew what is going to happen. The realization was there. That's why he was not at all affected by that. Yes, he has sometimes written to his other friends, followers, why you people are not doing something? It's for the good. Constantly the bad flow is coming from some people. You have to react, you have to stop that, so that the good thing that is going to happen, it reaches to the each and every one. So all those things are there in his biography, in that history is there. But personally, he was totally free of all those. When you go and ask him, are you perturbed with all this? Nothing. How come? How it is possible? Because he realized God, because he realized Brahman, because he saw that Atman, and there was no doubt that whatever is happening because of the God's will. So that is called Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. This is a very great sloka, and afterwards Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling that, and he is giving a beautiful way how one develop devotion to God. He says, tamasic aspect of bhakti. There are three aspects are there: sattva, raja and tama. Sattva means very calm, composed, very good. Raja is also demanding, active, and tama is always angry. He don't like to share anything with anybody. He is very selfish. He wants everything to grab in his own, for his own. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling, utilize that tama here as a bhakti, and that will be good. Go and tell God, I only want you, and you cannot go to anybody else. You must be with me. I have called you, I have taken your name, and why you should not come? Like this is the devotee. And when that devotion is there, the God is very happy, and he is telling like this: assume the tamasic aspect of bhakti. Say with force, what? I have uttered the names of Rama, uttered the names of Kali. How can I be in bondage anymore? That is tamasic bhakti. The complete faith. I have taken the name of God. The once you take the name of God, your mind is totally pure. Nothing wrong is going to happen. That type of bhakti we have seen in the life of Girish Chandra Ghosh. Apparently his life was totally different. But inside he had 100% faith in God. And that faith, how much faith? Once Sri Ramakrishna touched his head, and that he naturally within himself, he came to that conclusion, I am totally, completely pure. Why? Because God has touched me. The once only when he was passing, Vivekananda was giving a class to his disciples. He saw that Girish Ghosh, they were old acquaintance. Jokingly he said, "Where you are going?" "I am going to bathe in the Ganga." The Ganga is a holy river for the Hindus. So when you go, take a dip, you are purified, that is the belief. So Vivekananda said, "Oh, you are going to wash your sins there?" Immediately he turned and said with 100% confidence, "No, I am going to make Ganga purified by bathing." Why? Because Ganga has come from the feet of God, and the same God has touched my head. I am more purer than the Ganga. So that is the confidence. It's just nothing but his confidence. But this type of confidence, if we are having, nothing is going to happen to me. In the life of Lord Buddha is also, the story is there. He was a son of, I think, a king, and he went to his guru's house for study. That was the norm system in those days. He was from Benares. Either to test him or for some other reason, the news came, somebody sent that news, that your father is sick and he is going to die, you better come quickly. And that news was given to him. You were a student, you go back because your father. Immediately he said, "It can never be. Because my father never did anything wrong that he will die so young. It is not possible. My father is." So the confidence, that is in the life of Buddha. He said, "No, nothing is going to happen in my family because of each and every one of us. We practice everything good. Nothing bad can happen." He had the 100% confidence. The Guru was so happy because the confidence, because the faith in the words of God. If you are doing good, good is going to happen to you and nothing, never wrong. So in that way only, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, if you want to realize God, accept the path of bhakti. It is easy. And secondly, that bhakti should be like the tamasic bhakti. Now and here and now. I want to see you, God, here and now. Again in the life of Bhagavan Buddha we find the same thing. He sat and he said, he declared, "I am going to realize the truth here and now. If not, I am ready to die. I won't leave the seat." So that is called tamasic bhakti, and he was singing, "If only I can pass away repeating Durga's name." It is the belief in the Hindus, among the Hindus, at the time of death, all thoughts come except God. Because all the desires, that all come up, and it covers the whole mind. And in our thought comes only desires. And it is said that what all those desires, if I am thinking and dying, that very moment, nobody can help me, only I am left to myself. When I am dying, I am on the bed, no one can help me, neither the doctors nor the guru. Only myself and my karma. So when I am going on repeating to myself, oh, I want this, I want that, these are all desires, then what happens? I go back to fulfill those desires. I am compelled to. So that is why in the Bhagavad Gita it is telling that particular moment when your life is going out of this body, if you can, whatever you can, you will think, you will go to that. At that particular moment, if I can think of God, God I will become. Sri Ramakrishna, to make this point very clear, he is telling, if you bathe an elephant and leave it, again it will go, and because the elephant likes dust, so it will go, and again on the mud it will go on eating this thing. It never cares for the skin should be clean. So the people who are handling the elephants, after properly bathing, they will tie it so it cannot go out. The children also, similarly, the mothers, they will clean them, put them the good dresses and keep them in one place so that they cannot run again and make that, soil that dress. No. So that is why, similarly, our mind also at the time of passing away, if we can, anyone can take the name of God, remember God, God they become. Whole life may be that they are not practicing religion, but the last moment, unfortunately, we cannot take that shortcut. Okay, in this life, let me enjoy in whatever way. At the time of death, I will simply take the name of God. No, you cannot do that. That moment, all your previous karma, they will come and grab your throat. So obviously, you have to take the name of God all through your life. And this holy practice, that will help you at the time of your death. And the belief is, if you are taking the name of Durga at the time of death, you are free. Because it is a commitment of Goddess. She will come and protect you. That's why here in the song that he is writing, Ami Durga 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 bole ma jodi mori akhere e dine na taro kamone jana jabe go Shankari. He is giving the challenge to that goddess Shankari, the Durga, goddess Durga. At the time of death, I am going to repeat your name, remember your name. And I will see how that you are not coming to save me. You are bound to come. So that is the challenge, so much confidence, and that is called Tamosika Bhakti. If only I can pass away repeating Durga's name, Durga, Durga, Durga bole jodi mori, how canst thou then, O Blessed One, Ma Durga, withhold from me deliverance, wretched though I may be? E dine means humble I am, though wretched I am, but still you have to come and help me. And then Sri Ramakrishna is telling, continuing the conversation, he is repeating faith, faith, faith. Vishwas, Vishwas, Vishwas. If you have once have the faith, then you are free. But it is very difficult. All the time doubts crop in. They will come and then say something. So this is the problem. How to develop faith? Sri Ramakrishna is telling faith, faith, faith. Faith in what? In the existence of God. Faith in what? In the words of the holy people, like Jesus, like Sri Ramakrishna, like Krishna, like Buddha. So, in the words of those people. Now, how the faith will come? In two things. The life's experience. When you see so many things are happening in our life. And the second is, when I believe someone respectable, and then whatever he says, whether I understand or not, simply follow that. When we are suffering, something has happened to this particular physical body, we go to a doctor, and with complete faith, we give it myself to the doctor and say, these are the problem, and whatever you suggest, I will follow. Doctor will say, take this way. Every 2 hours you should take a medicine, and then this, then that. If you are following that, you are free from that disease. So that is the faith in the doctor, that he knows everything well. So naturally, when you go to a teacher and ask how to learn, and he is giving the process, these are the books you must study, and this way you must study, and then only in your exam you will be successful. If I follow that, I am successful. The first is a faith, first is a belief, and then second is practice. Whatever the instructions has been given to me from that person, I have to practice that. Here, Sri Ramakrishna, the Guru, he is the preceptor, he is the spiritual guide, he is the spiritual teacher. When he is asking us to behave like this, practice like this, if we believe that and practice that, we are going to get the result that is sure. So here he says faith, faith and faith. Worthless people do not have any faith. Only those worthless, they cannot do anything, neither this, neither that, and they go on doubting, and in English they call doubting Thomas. Everything they are doubting. Can it be this, can be that, and they cannot live inside the house thinking that it may break down, fall down. They cannot live on the open, maybe that there is an earthquake, there's what will happen. Every time doubting, and making their own life miserable. And also the people attached with that particular person are also suffering because of the doubts. So this doubt should not be there. Why? First I go, I examine, I check a person, whatever he is telling, is he following that? Is those things are reflected in his daily actions, in his character? Yes, then I accept him. And after accepting, I follow him. So that is the way Sri Ramakrishna told, when a man merges himself in God, he can no longer retain wicked or sinful tendencies. Within him there will be no sinful tendencies. What is the sinful tendencies? What are those sinfulness? Selfishness, egoistic work. That is called selfishness. And that is why, again, this is called sinful and wicked. So if I find a person like that, if I go to him, listen to him, and then follow, the result is always good, obviously good. Worthless people do not have any faith. They always doubt, but doubts do not disappear completely till one realizes there is the self. Again, that also, the practical aspect of faith is also, he is telling, I have faith in my Guru, I have faith in the scripture, I have faith in the lives of the saints, but still little doubt it may be there. Is it really good? Is really I am on the right track? Am I really proceeding properly? So all these doubts will remain till we realize God. That's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, it may remain, but till that I realizes God. They say in Hinduism, Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, etc. And Kali Yuga, this present age, is the worst. Why? All people are, what is the Kali Yuga? The thing in Kali Yuga is the body consciousness. Too much of body consciousness. And naturally, they only want to satisfy the physical need and physical desires. And then they suffer. is obviously it goes on round and round, and to fulfill their desire, they create problem for others. That is also the bad work. That is the tenets of the Kali Yuga. Now in the Bhagavata, there is a beautiful sloka is there. It says, O king, it is addressing the king, Kritadishu Maharaja Kalabichanti Sambhutim. Kritadi, Krita means the Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is called Krita. What is the Satya Yuga? When all people were good. That is called Satya Yuga. That is the best age. But even in that time also, people were having the ego. And naturally, we cannot say there was that particular yuga, each and every one was free from ego. Limitation was there, numbers of egoistic people were less, but they were there. Now they say, you know, O Maharaja, that's a wonderful thing. Satya Yuga, people from Satya Yuga is praying so that they can take birth in the Kali Yuga. Why? They say, because Kali Yuga liberation is very easy. Satya Yuga liberation is very difficult. Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga liberation is difficult comparing with Kali Yuga. So why? Now it says, in the Kali Yuga, devotion is there. In the other yugas, that much was not there. So in the Kali Yuga, if you follow the path of devotion, it is very easy to get the blessings of God. So, Kritadishu Maharaja Kalabichanti Sambhutim, O king. Surprising thing is that people of the Satya Yuga want to take birth in Kali because mukti is easy there, that time, through devotion. So Sri Ramakrishna is asking, why didn't you take the path of devotion? He says, in genuine love of God, there is no desire. In genuine love for God, there is no desire. Only through such love does one speedily realize God. Now, Kali Yuga, it is very easy if you have the devotion, but what type of devotion? I go with a list. Whenever I go to the temple, I go with a list to give it to the God. These are my demands, please fulfill. I am giving you the sweets, the fruits, incense sticks and flowers, all best variety. Now you should also fulfill all my desires. That is not devotion, that is business. So that is the thing we have to understand. There is a funny story. In a classroom, the father was asking the children, whom you think the best personality, spiritual personality? Then all were raising the hand. One boy also raised. He was on the first bench. Then he asked, whom do you think? Jesus Christ. And he said, if you can tell the truth and perfectly satisfy me, I will give you $5. So the first boy raised the hand, and so whom do you think that the perfect person? He said, Jesus. But you are a Jew. Oh, that is actually different thing. But business is business. So I don't believe in Jesus. But now if I say Jesus, being a father, you will be happy, you will give me $5. So business is business. The other things are. So that is a business. I go to temple, I go to church, I go and pray and give a big list to the God. Please do these, do these, do these. When the God say, you are demanding so many things, don't you like to take me? Well, that I will think afterwards. So that is not devotion. The only love for God. That's why Sri Ramakrishna is very intelligent. People may say, you told, and these are the things, you know why we have chosen the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna? In the Tuesday, he promised, Sri Ramakrishna told, whatever you pray on the Tuesday, and of course on Saturday, is going to be fulfilled. If you go to Goddess Kali, the Kali means the Shakti, the knowledge, and that is Sri Ramakrishna, we believe. And if you pray on the Tuesday and Saturday, these are the very good 2 days, very holy day, your prayers will be fulfilled. So, if we are in the Gospel all the time, he is talking about the devotion, the knowledge, and if we pray to God, give us devotion, we will surely get the devotion. If we pray to Him, we don't understand what is God, we don't know how to call on God, we don't know how to pray, we don't have any faith. You help me, He will help, sure. And if we pray, I want money, I want wealth, I want prosperity, that also He will give, but temporary. After some time, it will be, the term will be over. Again, you will be back to square one. So that is why we have to pray properly. And here Sri Ramakrishna is telling, in genuine love of God, there is no desire. Only through such love does one speedily realize God. Attainment of supernatural powers and so on are all desires. Sometimes some people, they come and all the time, they will be coming asking us, Swamiji, you don't have the supernatural power? I have to go and ask him. 40 years I am at his door. He has not given me anything. What to do? I am with him for 40 years, serving him, trying to please him in every way it is possible. He has not given me the what to do. But the supernatural power is also a desire. The moment you get that, what will happen? You will feel, I should help that person, this one, that one. Who are you to do that? This is a high philosophical question. Who am I? And who am I to help the world? I cannot do anything. And that is a different aspect, different discussion. But ultimate thing is, I only want the complete God and nothing else. Sri Ramakrishna is giving the hint. Suppose you go to a very rich person, and if he says, here I am, and this is mine, a few bucks, few dollars are there, what do you want? Shall we go and take up those? Maybe it's a bag full of money, maybe it is $1 billion. No, because we should go to the rich man because he is having so much. Why to go for that only? If I can go and love him and if he likes me, I will get everything that he is having. So one should be very clever when we are bargaining, when you are choosing. We should love God for God's sake. Then I will become God myself. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Attainment of supernatural powers and so on are desires. Then Tantrika is continuing. He says, Sir, why don't the rituals of Tantra bear fruit nowadays? Very practical question. That nowadays also we are doing the same way. Many of the Hindus, and particularly Hindus are coming from the southern part of India, very fond of doing the yajna. They are performing yajna, but result is not there. As we usually read in the scriptures, he is asking why the rituals of Tantra bear fruit nowadays don't bear fruit. Master, it is because people cannot practice them with the absolute correctness and devotion. Correctness and devotion. If these two things are there, attention should be paid. Science also. We are listening to the professor and then he is asking us to go and have the taste. If we are not doing it properly as was taught and not with all attention, we won't get the result. So obviously, this is the one lady came, 1 year she was here, she came all the way from India to practice that, and without success she went back and blaming each and everyone. That this university didn't give me, that man didn't help me, that was not. I told, so now everything is over. But ask yourself whether you were sincere. Did you really follow all the instructions that your professor, your guide was giving to you? Are you sincerely practice those things with attention? So don't blame others. Blame yourself. Why? That is why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, people cannot practice them with the absolute correctness and devotion. And in conclusion of this dialogue, Sri Ramakrishna, the master, he said, love of God is the one essential thing. A true lover of God has nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. He is aware that the Divine Mother knows everything. Then he immediately, as his own speciality, he is giving an example. The cat handles the mouse in one way, but the same cat, when taking its own kitten, in a very different way. The cat is going and catching the mouse with the teeth, but it is killing. But when the same way it is holding the kitten, it won't kill. It knows. So if you are a devotee, God will handle you in that way. If you are not suffering like the mouse is having, by the same God. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna said, and we find over here, Anantas chintayanto mam ye jana parijupasate, in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga shema bahamyaham. Anannaschinta, completely devoted to me, and always in contemplation worship me, the God. To those steadfast devotees, I ensure the fulfillment of all their desires, wants, and preserve their assets. So that is the assurance we get. But we have to have the devotion, and devotion comes from faith, and faith comes from the words of holy people. Thank you for this evening. Let us conclude with this prayer. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Drita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.